All right, so I guess we'll get started. Thank you guys for coming. It's morning in Australia. It's evening time in East Coast in New York City, and I'd like to welcome the CryptoPunk team here to talk about their project. Jay, Gypto, yeah, I don't know if you guys want to start with a brief overview of the project.
Yeah, sure. I'll just drop into the general chat if anyone wants to jump in. If anyone has the capacity to watch along visually, we have just a quick presentation. We kind of slide through for the project. We've done a few AMAs now. We've kind of consolidated all of the common questions into a presentation. Kind of shortcuts a lot of the questions, which kind of helps. And also just gives you a bit of an idea of the visuals for what we're building. So I've just dropped that into the general chat. It looks like it didn't let me do it. It's not letting me share links actually.
Yeah, if you want to send it to me,
Yeah, sure.
I could
Uh,
drop it in.
yeah, cool. All right, give me a second. I'll get that sorted. Where are you? There you
Yeah, I just sent you a request.
go. Cool. There you go. Oh, yeah. I'll accept that. And there you go. Sweet. Um, Let me know when you've got that in the chat, or I'll watch that. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, just doing it through Twitch. Twitch has a little bit of a lag, so bear with me. I'll try and deal with the lag as best I can. But if anyone wants to follow along there, that'll help kind of paint the picture a little bit. Yeah, we're CryptoPunks. We have Jay and NFT Deviant up on the stage with me. I'm Gypto. We'll run through this presentation, and we normally takes like about 10 or 15 minutes, but it paints the picture quite well of what we're doing. But I'll just jump straight into it, and I'll do my best to deal with that kind of Twitch lag I was just talking about, which is working already. So who are we, CryptoPunks? We're a collection of all of the 10,000 original CryptoPunks that have been remastered one for one in 3D rendered 4K NFTs, and we're minting on Ethereum. Your CryptoPunk NFT enables the minting of your CryptoPunk 3D avatar that will allow you to teleport between metaverses as your avatar from one of the most recognized and culturally significant NFT projects in crypto history, which are the OG CryptoPunks by Lava Labs. Who are we? We're just basically a small team of passionate NFT enthusiasts. I'll roll through the team, do a bit of a team intro, but before we get to the team intro, I'll just talk quickly about our mods over in the server. Beska, Disco Bolelo, Moosey, Sai, Dondon. We've got a really cool team of mods over on the server, so definitely come over and say hello. There's some cool stuff happening over on the server. A bit about myself. I'm Gypto. I have a bit of a mixed background. I'll talk about some experience from me that's relevant to this project. I have a mixed kind of academic and professional background, but relevant stuff is I have an advanced diploma of multimedia gaming streaming from Victoria University in Melbourne, advanced diploma of project management, small certificate of business management, advanced diploma for a scholarship from Laureate University in graphic design, certificate in living philosophy, and currently halfway through a bachelor degree of industrial design through RMIT University in Melbourne. Which is relevant for system design and user personas, journey flows, all of that kind of thing. Professionally, really relevant. I've been in graphic design since about 2008, and I've been running a 3D rendering business here in Australia since 2015. I've been involved in crypto since 2017. I've been really itching to get into a crypto project and just really couldn't find the right fit. And then when we had the kind of opportunity arise to do the CryptoPunks, I just dove straight onto it. That's a little bit about myself. Jumping to Deviant, if you want to have a quick intro of yourself. Are you there, Deviant? You might be on mute, maybe. Where is he?
I gotta bring him back on stage. There he is.
Okay, they fall off, did he? Sure.
Hey, how we doing, everybody? Thanks for having me on today. Just a couple of things about me. Just a lot of life experience, been in the crypto space since 2017, in and out of a lot of ICOs, IDOs, looking for an opportunity to bring something to the NFT community through the CryptoPunk. Been running businesses for about 17 years, so just have a little bit of sort of experience there. Really excited about community building and, just focusing on bringing people together and putting opportunities out there so we can all, make a go of, this brand new sort of thi- this journey that we're going on. So yeah, just look really excited to be here, and hoping that we'll get a few of you guys to come over and check out our project. And yeah, just grateful that we're here today in front of you all. So that's me.
Yeah,
Thank
cool.
you.
I'll just follow up with DV. It's like touch on his operating his business for 16 plus years, and myself have been running my own business here in Australia for 7 plus years.
Hello.
Hello. Someone coming just then. Yeah, most businesses fail within. I think
I lost you guys.
80% of businesses fail within the first 12 months. I think 90% fail within the first 24 months after that. So having a couple of people on board that have successfully operated businesses sustainably for 7 and 16 plus years is a pretty big benefit behind the scenes for the team. And that comes with a little bit of age and experience.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but I'm not receiving you back.
Okay, hang on. I'll just send this guy a message. We can. Cool. So yeah, sorry, I'll just go back. So next on our team is Neod. He's a PFP artist. We found Neod on Instagram. He is a young dude located over in Mexico, Daniel Mendoza, very talented artist. Neod, a little bit like myself, comes from an industrial design background, but he's recently started really just skewing his career heavily towards 3D art. And Neod just has a really acute ability of being able to bring characters to life with his 3D sculpting. And when we were looking for the artist to run this project, we looked quite extensively across the internet, and we eventually found Neod, and a little bit of backwards and forwards conversation with him. We got Neod on board, and we're absolutely stoked that we did, because the guy absolutely smashed it out of the park when it comes to bringing these CryptoPunk characters to life. Next in the team is Salvador Blue. He's an Australian artist, Joshua Scott. He's working with us for the concept artwork and the comic book series, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The next person in the team, or artist-wise in the team, is Loud Gods. And just forgive me while I'm dealing with the Twitch lag here. But Loud Gods actually hasn't started work with us yet, but he is signed and he's on board and he's ready to make our voxel artwork collection for us. But we'll talk about that in a little bit when we get into the roadmap, which you'll see how that ties in. Our dev, a lot of people might be familiar with Brains. Brains has minted a myriad of NFT projects across the NFT space over the last 6 to 12 months. He came on board. We hunted him out specifically. We specifically wanted someone with experience that has a track record of successfully minting projects and doing a good thing. And that's what we got with Brains. I won't go through the list of projects that he's minted, but if anyone wants a little bit of validation there from what's happening on the back end with our developer, please feel free to look at any of these projects and see how they all went down. Jay, do you want to jump up? It's your screen, buddy. Are you cool to chat? Oh, he's jumping on and off mute. Oh, and we lost Jay. I think he's... Yeah, he's out. I think he's travelling. He's about to jump on a flight. He's requesting to come back up. If you can bring him back up. Yeah. There we go. There we go, buddy. We got you.
Kinda. I think he's glitching a little bit.
You glitching, Jay? I might. Maybe I'll just I'll grab.
Hello.
Yeah, you good to go?
How's it going, brother?
Yeah, you go, mate. We're on your.
I keep getting. I might mute my mic.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, do you want to mute? I'll grab your slide then.
Sure, brother. I apologize, man. I am just getting to my plane right now.
No, all good.
Okay, I'm just getting off this little train, my plane, and I'll be good to go. Basically, I have extensive marketing experience. I've dealt with clients as small as mom and pop shops, all the way up to large corporations such as Home Depot, Coca-Cola, warehouse. My passion is absolutely sales and marketing, and that's my role within the team here, as well as kind of managing the guys within the Discord.
Yeah, sure, cool. Thank you. Quick little intro to Jay. Jay's been with us for a short period of time now, like a handful of weeks as we brought him on to handle the marketing thing and do outreach, and it's really starting to work for us, which is really cool. And that's why we're here today. And where are we as a project? So we've successfully undertaken a closed pre-sale round to raise some marketing capital. We have the 10,000 3D rendered 4K cryptid punks ready to mint. And I might just actually really quickly, before I kind of get into it, just to clarify for people, because a lot of people have this question, is that we're not randomly generating CryptoPunks here. We've actually recreated the entire 10,000 OG Lava Lab CryptoPunks in their attribute sets one for one. So if you just bear with this Twitch lag again, while I come down onto the website, and anyone can just jump over onto the website. We've got heaps of information on the website if you want to have a closer look. But we've recreated the entire 10,000 set one for one. So if you were to mint the Danny Seed Phrase one, you get the exact same attributes that Danny Seed Phrase has, and likewise for the entire 10,000 set. But you can see examples of those on the website if anyone wants to have a closer look at that. But we have the 10,000 set ready to go, so we're not still working in the artwork. The artwork for the PFP collection is ready to go. We have confirmation from our legal team. We went into a pretty deep dive with our legal team and actually put the project on pause for 3 weeks to just confirm from them that we are not in any risk of any Lava Labs IP infringements, which is a big question that gets thrown at us a lot. And we did a really deep dive into that and really pushed the team to make sure that they were clear on that. And if anyone wants more clarity around that, we can definitely open that up for further discussions in when questions come on. We have an organically growing community so far. This slide needs to be updated, but I think we're at about 5,400 now. So we're small, but we're still growing. But we have a strong organic community, and everyone's keen to go. We're just looking now to really just grow that exposure. We have a partnership with Southeast Asian crypto juggernaut Rfox Labs, and we'll talk a little bit about them and how their play to earn kind of ties into our project and the immediate utility that it is derived from that partnership, plus long-term benefits as well. We have a strategy to actively engage our community into shaping the future of the CryptoPunks project. We'll talk about that. And it's the roadmap, to leap us basically between the most prominent crypto metaverses out there. So normally we flip this slide over when we talk about the Rfox partnership to Jay, because he loves talking about Rfox. But I think you reckon you're right to grab that, Jay, or are you still kicking about?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah, do you want to grab Rfox?
All right, awesome. I didn't get rugged again this time. So Rfox, the partnership there is probably my favorite part of this entire project. So coming into the project, I looked at the roadmap and immediately I saw this thing that said Kogs, and I wasn't exactly sure what they meant by Kogs. I was thinking of Pogs when I was a kid. It might be dating myself a little bit, but when I was young, we had these little cardboard discs that had little images on them. You collect them, you had little slammers, you throw them down, flip these things over. And that was my thing when I was a kid. That's basically what Rfox has done. They've created a virtual version of that. It's called Kogs Slam. The game is active right now. The beta version was launched in Southeast Asia. They've had over 8 million games played to date, over 81,000 players, and 21,000 of them being active, meaning that they play at least 1 hour a day. And these guys are coming out with a bunch of other games, like they're doing tower defense. They mentioned something about a Beyblade style game. And the beautiful thing about it is the day that you reveal your cryptid punk, you're able to mint it into their ecosystem and start using it within their play to earn game. And then on top of that, you can even collect these things, different rarities, all that kind of stuff, and put them into tubes and then stake them. So there's immediate dividends that are coming right back to the player from day one. Absolutely phenomenal part of the project. That's the biggest shining piece to me.
Yeah, sure. And we'll talk about how Rfox kind of dovetails back in at a later date as well. And so through that Kogs KML, Kogs Mint Lab that enables you to mint your CryptoPunk NFT onto one of their Kogs to play in their game, I believe that we're the second project to sign on to that Mint Lab, and the first project being BayC. So good to know that we're in good company there. And those BayC Kogs they're currently selling on the secondary market for a pretty good premium as well. So where are we going from here? Currently we have there's this really cool backstory to the punks where they started the CryptoPunks were originally these kind of low resolution pixelated punks, and they really wanted to just become truer representations of themselves. They're loaded full of character and life. Anyone that's familiar with the CryptoPunks knows that. And they're going through a minting portal, which we're about to go through, which is going to enable them to come out in this kind of 4K 3D rendered high detail versions of themselves. And from there, we have a kind of like a really nice lore backstory that kind of supports that. And that will be illustrated by our concept artist, Joshua Scott or Salvador Blue. He'll be doing basically a CryptoPunks comic book series that will support the lore. And from there, what we really need to do, if we start kind of, once the punks get into this 4K 3D rendered version of themselves, they love it. They love the detail, but they still feel like they're stuck in like 2D static image form, and they want to be able to run around in full 3D freedom. So they're going to start looking to go through the next minting portal and into the metaverse. But before we can do that, obviously the punks at the moment are only heads. And we need, they need bodies to run around. And if they have bodies, they need clothes. Otherwise, they're going to be running around naked, which could be fun. But we probably should give them clothes. So we're going to go through this basically like fashion design process with our concept illustrator and the community, where everyone's going to help us design what the punks are actually going to wear in the metaverse. We actually have a trial close period of this happening with our OG dudes that we're halfway through, and that's shaping up really well. And we can share that all of that publicly kind of once that's closed and we've done the first round of that, which will be really cool to see. And also we'll be doing some like level design and stuff like that, which we'll get into. So the first stop for the CryptoPunks is Sandbox, and how this will tie into the lore story as well, where they started as these pixelated punks. They're coming to 4K 3D and they love it. They want to move on and get into 3D space so they can have full freedom. But then when they finally they get in through the next minting portal into Sandbox, they made it. They're free and they can run around, but they didn't quite get it right. Like they stuffed it up a little bit, and they're back into this kind of blocky pixelated mode. So from there, we'll be purchasing land, building the game inside the sandbox, and part of the functionality of that game will be, the punks need to collectively build the next minting portal to get out of sandbox and move into the next metaverse. The actual game and how that plays out, we're actually going to do this kind of with the DAO and take a little bit of community direction on the creativity of steering the way the game kind of goes. We'll be doing that within a particular framework that we'll lay out. So obviously, at the end of the day, on the back end, we're really building a business here, and things need to happen sustainably with the resources that we have available. So we'll be essentially providing a framework and then giving some creative direction to the community to help us kind of steer what the actual interaction and functionality of the game looks like within Sandbox, with the end goal of kind of, building that minting portal to jump into the next metaverse. But that's going to be really fun. And one thing that we've already seen already from the organically grown community that we have in the Discord is we have some super creative people. So we're really keen to see kind of how that really plays out. From there, once they can escape out of Sandbox, next stop is they are dropping them into the Decentraland. And actually, I should just touch on just to make it clear, because the question does come up occasionally as well. Your CryptoPunk NFT that you mint, your PFP NFT, will be essentially the passport for that particular punk to go into the metaverse. So you'll need to hold this CryptoPunk NFT in order to receive and mint the Sandbox and Decentraland version of that punk. You need to hold them in your wallet. And then once we get into Decentraland, it's similar kind of setup. Like they're into the next metaverse. They've got 3D freedom. They're running around. The graphics have improved significantly from the blocky pixelated mode from Sandbox. But they're still chasing more. These guys, the punks are ambitious and outgoing, and they're always looking for more. So they'll be going through, looking to get into the next minting portal. But in Decentraland, we'll be buying land, building the land, which we've been having some really interesting conversations with some Decentraland architects for the actual, land or building structure that we'll build in Decentraland, and that's looking really cool. And again, that kind of creative direction and steering from the community about some cool things that we can do in there, we'll be open to that within the possibilities of the resource framework that we'll have on the back end. So that'll be really cool. And then once we build out that, that minting portal and get out of the Decentraland, the next stop is into the Rfox vault. Now, a lot of people aren't familiar with the Rfox vault, and you definitely should be. I can see Polkadot Punk is in here, and when we told him about Rfox and that we partnered with him, he went on a 2 or 3 day rabbit hole into Rfox. And Rfox is an absolute beast of a project based out of Southeast Asia. And I definitely recommend everyone go have a look at them and the things that they have going under the hood. Their metaverse is, I'd say, arguably one of the best metaverses getting around to date. And I believe within 1 to 2 weeks, they're actually opening their vault to their alpha group. So the guys that have got the passes in that own some of the stores and stuff like that. So the Rfox Vault, it's built on the Unity game engine. It's essentially like a space station that's hanging around low orbit in Earth. It's built into 4 quarters. I believe it has music, gaming, retail, and a generals quarters. All of the shops in these quarters NFTs. A lot of people, they own the space, and there's already some arrangements going on for rentals and stuff like that. Those are the guys that are having the alpha pass to get in. Some of the guys have already been in. It's fully operable with Oculus, and everyone that we've heard come out of an alpha sneak peek into the vault is absolutely flipping out about it, and the sneak peeks that we've seen kind of support that. So the Rfox Vault is the next metaverse stop for the punks to mint into, and they're obviously going to take a massive step up in quality and realise potential when they get into the Rfox Vault. Another really cool thing about the Rfox Vault, and just another great exposure point for the cryptid punks, is I believe their target is going live around mid-year, and they're doing something very clever where they're using the volume of players from the ongoing Kogs games that we were talking about earlier that has 27,000 active beta users. Those 27,000 active beta users have played 8.5 million games of Kogs on the Android device in beta. That was done through 3 countries over in Southeast Asia. They've recently just opened up to 175 countries. So they've got a pretty big target audience already, and they're really starting to expand, and they're about to start pulling the trigger on marketing, which they haven't actually done yet, which is super fascinating. And they'll be using that kind of Cogs platform as a mechanism, as a funnel to funnel all of those users, those current 27,000 active beta users, plus the ongoing market, using them to funnel them into the Rfox Vault, which is a super interesting strategy to kind of populating the metaverse, which obviously there's a lot of metaverses out there that aren't quite populated yet. They're doing that in that fashion, which I think is really clever. Also, the Rfox Vault metaverse isn't absolutely huge. Like some of the other metaverses are really quite large, and they were quite clever where they've actually kept the size quite reduced, and they've done it with a way to kind of make the area more populated and dense with activity, which I think is another smart move. We have been in conversation with someone about taking a lease or potentially purchasing one of the retail shops in Rfox Vault as an exposure point to the CryptoPunks NFTs. But definitely go have a look at Rfox Vault if you are unfamiliar with them and you want to learn a little bit more about them. A very, very cool project. And so after that, what's the next step after that? We're essentially remaining open to any future potential metaverse opportunities, so we can continue to roll the punks into those metaverses as they arrive. We'll be looking for quality projects to partner with to do so. We do have a really cool opportunity on the back end, development wise, that when we if we build, once we have the punks built for the Unity game engine for Rfox Vault, that essentially really means the kind of back end development work is done to create 10,000 Unity-based CryptoPunk avatars for Unity. So any other Unity projects that have merged that there's a couple we're actually already looking at, we can kind of just slip them straight in. So a lot of that work kind of already gets done, which is a good thing, from an investment point of view, to know on the back end for the development for it. That's a little bit more streamlined and efficient, and the entire process of kind of recreating these 10,000 punks in different metaverses in terms of development is almost a little bit copy-paste, just working with different artists and different developers, but the actual strategy to do so for each metaverse is a little bit copy-paste, which is something that you actually probably really want to hear from an investment point of view, because it means that it's nothing significantly unrealistic for us to achieve. We've already made the 10,000 punks one for one from the original collection in 4K 3D renders, which was a pretty ambitious undergoing, but we got it done. Now that we have that process done, it's not too it's not too difficult for us to kind of just replicate that. So what I'm saying is, on the back end, it's an achievable project. It's a cool roadmap that gets a lot of exposure across lots of audiences, but the actual likelihood of it happening is quite realistic because it's achievable back-end development for us. That's mostly the presentation. Thanks for sticking around for it. I will just open up just quickly, because we do get a lot of people always ask for a bit of a closer look at the artwork, so I'll do a bit of a closer look. I'm not sure how clear the Twitch stream is coming out. It might be a little bit buffered, but I'll open up just some of the 4K artwork just to give a bit of a sneak peek on how that looks. And if anyone has any questions, by all means, please feel free to pop your hand up and come up on the stage and fire them away.
While we wait for questions, I think I had some right off the bat. I've talked to Jay about most of this stuff. Where'd you guys come up with, why'd you guys decide to do the punks?
Yeah, so Deviant and I, we were a little bit admittedly late to NFTs, and kind of late last year we minted our first NFT project, which is a CryptoPunk derivative project, and it was essentially just a straight copy on a different blockchain, which obviously we've seen a fair bit of that. And as soon as I minted a couple of them, and straight away was fascinated by the whole thing. Really got into it, went down the rabbit hole with the CryptoPunks and all of that. And then it wasn't too long after that I was sitting around on the couch, and I have a background in 3D rendering, and just had a bit of a light bulb moment where I remember sitting there and looking at all just the different combination of the punks, and just all the different there's so many different personalities that come through in the different variations of attribute sets, and I was quite interested by it. And I just remember having a light bulb moment, thinking, wow, if we could just really bring these things to life in 4K 3D renders, I think it could be a thing. And then from there, it basically started from there. I was keen to actually make the punks myself, so I've got the background in 3D rendering, but I'm not that strong at kind of the sculpting and stuff like that. And I started entertaining the idea of learning to sculpt, to do it all myself. But then when I started to realize how much work was really involved in just the entire project as a whole, I'm like, there's no way I can do that as well. And then that kind of, the hunt started looking for the correct artist to do it, and scoured the internet, and we found Neode and locked him in. And we actually spent a fair bit of time getting the artwork done. We spent a lot of time getting the artwork done, particularly kind of just nailing the actual look. We spent a lot of time on the jawbone and the cheekbones and the lips and everything that kind of gives them that just just that attitude and vibe. And then from there, going through and recreating 10,000 punks as per a database, and all the relative attribute sets. Yeah, it took some time, but we made sure that we got it right. That's kind of how it came about.
So what do you say to someone who just calls you guys like a derivative project?
Yeah, I don't like, and this kind of dovetails a little bit back into the question we get regarding legals and IPs regarding Love Labs, and that. A lot of projects, you see projects like the Funks, where they just flipped all the punks to the left, and the slightly tilted punks, which is hilarious, where they just tilted them 3 degrees or whatever, which is really funny. They've just basically taken the original artwork and modified it. And when you come into IP infringement and copyright with art, it's always this really ambiguous grey area where there's kind of this weird rule of thumb where it's you have to change the artwork 20 to 30% in order for it to no longer be classified as the original artwork, but there's these weird rules like colour doesn't apply and things like that. It's very grey. What's clear about our artwork is it's not a modification of the original artwork. When we didn't modify the original artwork, we started completely from scratch. There wasn't any adaptations or alterations or anything to original artwork. We started entirely from scratch using entirely different software packages and workflows and just different methodologies. And it's arrived at a completely different, essentially look and format. So I understand how people, are opposed to derivative projects, because I think a lot of them put very little effort into building out their project and piggybacking on the effort of the original stuff. But we've put a lot of effort into this, and I think it shows, and I think we stand out from the majority of derivative projects out there.
Yeah, for the record, I wasn't asking because I don't see it as a derivative project.
Oh, sure.
I see you guys putting a lot of work into it. Yeah, I mean, this is just really like a devil's advocate question.
Yeah, sure.
I have a question from the chat. He says, "Who are your major competitors? What sets this apart? What sets this brand apart from another team or even or even Larva Labs doing this?"
Honestly, I don't think we'll see Larva Labs doing it. I think with the acquisition of the punks from Yuga Labs, I think you've seen a lot of focus from Yuga on BC and all of that. I don't think Yuga's going to really touch the punks, and they've kind of if you watch that whole thing play out when that kind of went live, I think it looks like they're kind of acquired it and they're leaving it. I don't think they're going down that road. In terms of other competition, well, essentially, other competition is every other project in the space. To start with, I think something that sets us apart from that is the artwork. The artwork is pretty top shelf, and having a full 10,000 set in this detail is it's a thing in itself. And then I think just kind of leveraging that brand, I think, everyone's kind of bullish on the metaverse. I think it's going to be, there's a bit of squirrely action in the short to medium term while, everything kind of gets established and things build. But long term, I think, there's going to be a lot of demand for avatars in the in the metaverse, just as we see, people want the NFTs for their PFPs for social media platforms. I think as metaverse becomes more prevalent and more mainstream, there's going to be a demand for avatars in the metaverse, and being able to walk around and rock a kind of a punk that's leveraging one of the most significant blue chip NFT projects out there, I think is going to pull some pretty serious weight.
Would you ever take this as would you ever take this first project as like a proof of concept and like go towards another project to try to, I guess in a way, remaster them into 3D?
Sorry, can you say that again? Remaster another project?
Yeah, like would you take this as like a proof of concept at some point and think about going towards another project, like a pixelated project maybe, and remastering it into a 3D form?
Honestly, I have, and in full transparency, the idea does appeal, but to be clear, now the focus is on getting this done. Once we start getting some momentum, and so we're kind of like at the point where we're like, all right, we're starting to go for exposure. We're going to go for mint. Once we got the mint, we're going to start, really start building out. And once those funds come in from mint, things are going to move pretty quickly because, I'm sidetracking a little bit here, but once we've got the funds there, we can just start building these things out for all of the metaverses. It's just a matter of just project managing different artists and developers, which is, it's pretty straightforward to do. So that's kind of the focus, is getting that done, and then obviously keeping the eye out for some partnerships for other metaverses as they arise. But yeah, it's definitely crossed my mind as as we go through this process, we're going to get a better understanding of how to make it happen and how to make it happen more efficiently. And I have looked at some other projects and think, it'd be great to do that. And I think if we did do that, I think that's we'd integrate some kind of benefit in that process for CryptoPunk holders for sure. Whether it's like whitelisting or airdrops or something like that, it's something we could definitely look at integrating 100%.
Gotcha. I got another question from the chat. Can you ask if they plan on doing any honoraries for well-known punk owners?
Yeah, so
form of promotion.
Yeah, this is a question that comes up a little bit as well, and so how we're actually doing this is when you come and you mint your punk, your cryptid punk, we've randomized the order that they come out in mint. So while I'll just go back to the website here, this helps illustrate it, but while every one of the 10,000 punks has the direct one-for-one attribute set of the originals, the order that they come out of our mint is randomized, and we've had to do that because there's obviously people could just snipe the rare punks as they come out from mint, which is obviously something that we don't want. But we had to take that avenue basically for that reason, to stop people sniping rare ones and to make it a fair mint. We also had a lot of people coming to us with that question, and also telling us that we should be reserving like the rare ones for the team, so we've got them in a treasury that we can sell at a later date. And we just didn't think that it was fair at all. We think everyone should have a fair go at minting, the rarest punks and the quality ones. So we've taken that avenue, and like a lot of things, there's a lot of trade-offs and balances that you have to find, and we knew there was an opportunity there to kind of give some punks or try to lure in some OG punks with some of their version of the punks. But it kind of went against the fairness model and making sure that everyone that mints our project has a fair opportunity at getting any one of the CryptoPunks, and whether it be one of the rare ones. So we did steer away from that and kind of went down the opportunity of fairness. That also, but it works again the other way. If you do happen to mint, a CryptoPunk that one of the OG guys out there is a player, and they probably might want their 4K version. You've got a bit of leverage there to kind of ask for a higher price, so that kind of gives a little bit more value back to the community through that kind of random minting mechanism that way.
Got it. So I guess, for instance, this 8348 will still be punk 8348, and at the end of the day, it's just the minting order is just going to be different.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Coming out random.
Got it.
Yeah.
Would you have you ever thought about approaching? I mean, it'd be Yuga Labs now, and I'm sure it wasn't when you started this process. But have you ever thought about approaching them to, I guess, do some kind of joint venture?
Yeah. Yep. Have thought about it. I think at the moment focus is on mint. We are looking at potentially bringing on maybe another team member that might be able to help better facilitate that. We'll have to that's nothing locked in there. We're just in conversations with that. But I think that's definitely something we need to put on the radar, is approaching Yuga Labs and having a chat for sure. I think it'd be something better done. We're really just starting to push for exposure now, and I think that might be something that's better done when we have a little bit when we've grown the community, and we have a bit of a stronger community behind us. I think we'll look better approaching Yuga that way rather than doing it earlier.
Gotcha, makes sense. Another one from the chat. This is a economics question. What does your funding look like? How much will you keep as profit / reinvest? Also, what will the mint price be?
So mint price we've gone for actually pretty respectable mint price. Whitelist at 0.05, public sale at 0.07. We've had quite a few people kind of indicating to us, that we could be asking a lot more, but realistically, you don't really need a lot more. That just feels like a cash grab. We can do what we need to do with that, particularly when we build things in that kind of sustainable framework that I was talking about. And then, sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Second part of the question was, there was mint price, and then what does funding look like, and how much I guess of the mint funds would you keep as profit for the team, or pay the team with, and how much will be reinvested?
It's not a huge amount that we're keeping from the original mint for the team. Deviant and I, we've kind of we've bootstrapped this thing ourselves, so we'll be looking to pull that cash back. That's obviously risk that we took on, and we invested that money, so we're looking to pull that back. Plus a little bit of profit, not too much. But the development costs weren't huge. It's not like 6 figures or anything. It's just getting that money back, and that was to kind of pay Neode along the way to make some artwork. We had to cover his time because he put a lot of time into that. We've been paying all the mods along the way for the server, so just recouping those fees, and plus just a little bit on top for our risk that we put aside. The rest of it we're basically leaving in the project, and if you come on the website, we've got royalty splits listed down here in the website. So we've got our slice in there, and we're confident that we'll be able to make some coin out of that through trade volume. So the rest of it, we're essentially leaving in the project. We'll be parking a large portion of the mint into stables. Obviously, we'll be keeping a percentage of it in ETH, because ETH, and why would you not? But we also want to lock in a large part into stables just in case the wheels fall off the world and we slide into a bear market. We want to make sure we have enough money there to just keep building. And we put in a lot of that stables just into earn yield to help kind of pay, cover costs for mods and stuff like that, and running costs in the server. Pretty much pretty much like that.
Yeah, sounds totally fair. I may or may not have missed it. I think my next question would have been in terms of your timeline for mint, and I guess your timeline for land acquisition and building out the game.
Yeah, sure. So, timeline for mint, well, we're kind of targeting, maybe a few weeks from now. For us, it's like it's a little bit more of a demand target. We want to make sure we kind of have the numbers up there, but it's ballpark. We're looking around somewhere like a few weeks. But we'll have to kind of watch now that we're starting to put the foot on the gas and starting to get the exposure out there, and AMAs like this with reputable communities like you guys helps. So about to start putting the foot on the gas. Watch how that goes. We're about to start doing a bunch of whitelisting opportunities for people that want to get on board. But all going well. I'd like to see it happen within a few weeks, but let's just kind of watch those numbers and see how we go, but we'll make the call from there. In terms of rolling out the builds, this is something we're kind of going through before we can just start making all the punks in the different metaverses versions, the 10K collections. We need to do the fashion design. So we're going through a closed trial period just with the OG guys at the moment with that, and just kind of feeling out how deep we can push into the creative side of that versus finding the balance of trying to do it efficiently and streamlined. So we'll have that closed off, I reckon, in the next week or so, and we'll have the first punk wearable set for our OG guys, and from there we'll just have a look at, and we'll have a good chat with our illustrator to kind of gauge how a turnaround time for each set, and so we'll need to kind of get through that process. That'll kick off, and we'll get a bunch of wearable sets kind of locked in, and then we'll start trailing that wearable sets with the punk builds in Sandbox and Decentraland and Rfox Vault. I'd love to see, Rfox are looking at going live mid-year, sometime around there for their Vault. I would love to see the punks be ready to go shortly after they go live. I think Rfox are going to have obviously their own kind of standard in-house avatar set. I'd love for the punks to be the kind of maiden third party outside set that kind of comes in for that one. So I suggest we'll be trailing that a little bit. A little bit difficult to put an exact timeline on it because it's going to be a little bit of a community build thing as well. So there's going to be some backwards and forwards, and we kind of want it to be that way. It's really a community orientated project. But once we get through minting, it's basically the foot's on the gas and we're going. Once we have those funds in to bring on the artists that we've been talking to, the character artists and the architects and the devs, the conversations have all been had in the background. Everyone's kind of ready to go. We just kind of need to get through minting, get the funds in the door, and get everyone on the books and start hammering it. So I don't think it's going to be a really long process. I think you'd confidently, it's hard to put timelines on things because people get upset if you don't meet timelines, and it's always difficult in this space that moves so fast to adhere exactly to timelines. But I'd say somewhere in the 3 to 6 month period, we'd have I reckon we'd have it done in the first 3 metaverses that we're targeting, and by then we'd have our eyes on some other ones. And just I'll touch on that really quickly. We're looking at Rfox Vault's Unity based, and that kind of gets our set done for Unity. So any other metaverses that arise in the future that we partner with will have that the punk set already built, ready to go for them. So that's just a matter of just facilitating a partnership or a collaboration with those projects. But the next big one that we'll be looking for after that is Unreal 5. Anyone that knows gaming knows that Unreal 5 is the bee's knees of gaming engines, and that's where the punks will truly get their highest quality, ultra realistic sets. And that one's going to cost significantly more to develop because of obviously the work involved in modelling up 10,000 punks for that game engine at that level of detail. But that's one that we're going to spend a lot of time on and make sure we absolutely nail and get the sickest looking 3D avatar Unreal punks out there, because That's going to be really cool. Some of the character artists that we've been kind of in early stage conversations with about that, the artwork that they do is just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm kind of more pumped about that. I'm super excited to do like the Sandbox at Decentraland. I think it's like super cool. But when we start getting into Unity, like the Unity got graphics are like, you know, they're not like ultra realistic, but you can get some really cool stylized stuff going. And one particular studio we're talking to at the moment about that have like a mad style that really complements the punks. So that's going to be super cool. But then going into Unreal 5, building them out at that level of detail, it's going to be pretty wild. They're going to come out pretty top shelf. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I'd say, yeah, it's somewhere between, I'd say 3 to 6 months to get the 10k sets done for each into the Metaverses is realistic. And then, you know, don't forget during that period while we're building that out, you've got your play to earn and staking happening through Rfox Vault through the KML Kogs Mint Lab as well.
All right, sounds cool. Chris, how you doing, man?
Hey, buddy, how's it going? I just got here, just got off work. Where's Jay Sparta? Did he take off?
Jay's halfway between here and a flight, so he might be on the runway.
Is he going back to Florida or back to Canada?
I don't know where he's going. He's just like randomly all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, I'm going for a flight somewhere. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Not sure.
Well, is this the Jay Sparta part of Lit?
Yeah,
The Lit community?
yep.
And I see B Sheep's here, which is nice. And I'm kind of looking through the names and seeing who else is here. So where are you saying? Like I said, I got in here late. Are you saying that we're 3 to 6 months out from development of the actual characters?
No. So the 4K 3D rendered punks that you can. I don't know if you can see in the general chat. We've got a Twitch stream going on.
I'm not good at that. I'm just talking to you right now.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, the 4K 3D rendered punks, 10,000 of them are done. They're already locked in.
Gotcha.
So they're all sorted. The 3 to 6 months development is so your 4K 3D rendered cryptid punk essentially is your passport that will enable you to mint the Sandbox, Decentraland, Rfox Vault, and any other Metaverse version of that punk that we build. So we're kind of ballparking like 3 to 6 months to build out the 10,000 punks in Decentraland, Sandbox, and Rfox Vault. Plus the levels we have building there. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Sparta, what are you doing here, buddy?
Oh. You there, Jay?
I see him. He's there. I'm just saying hello to Sparta.
He might be boarding a plane right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, B Sheep would be a good one to talk to too. He's real good within the lit community. And Jay's done a lot of work on that side too. So anyway, I'm excited to be here. Like I said, I had to run home to get here, but I want to say hello. And I wasn't sure what this was because we're kind of learning it through the JRNY group.
Sure.
And it's anyway. So we're here.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's good.
We've recorded this. We're doing like a live Twitch stream. We had a presentation where we show a bunch of the artwork and all that kind of stuff. And we'll bang that up on the YouTube and we'll share that. So
yeah. Don't repeat it. I'm sorry. I'm just getting here. So I'll look forward to seeing
all
it.
Good, man. All good. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Cool. Any other questions, or are we all cool? I haven't actually been in the general chat. Sorry, I probably should have been in the general chat.
No, I've been scouting for the questions. Anybody else have any questions from the audience?
I'll share the Twitch link back into the... right. Oh, sorry, I can't do the Twitch link. That's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I want to say one more thing. If anyone from JRNY wants to go ahead and go down to the Bank One, I'm going to go ahead and collect. I want you to see what Apex collects.
He's shilling our project here.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, nice.
Bullshit, dude. Let's go. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and collect. You guys go ahead and look. It's fun.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, cool. All right, well...
If we have...
sorry? You're right?
No, go ahead, Gypto.
Oh, I was just going to say, if there's no other questions, it's cool. We'll leave it. You know, everyone's pressed for time. There's a lot going on in the space, so we don't want to take too much of anyone's time. We're gonna basically go from here. We hang out in the voice chat a fair bit in the server. I think Jay said he was gonna do a couple of giveaways or something just after this over in our server. So if anyone wants to follow along, and I think he's gonna do some like some ETH giveaways or cash ETH prize, maybe a free mint or something like that. So if anyone wants to jump over and follow that, please come on over. And we can chat to you there, and we'll I'll get this recording now. It's basically about an hour now, so I'll get this sorted, uploaded up to YouTube. We normally just timestamp it as well, so anyone can just kind of skip to any particular questions, and we'll share that with you, AwwwwSnap, so you can, if that's cool, if you share it with you guys for anyone that missed it.
Yeah, totally. It sounds a lot better than what I was going to do, so
Yeah, cool.
it works out.
Sweet. Hey, Deviant, did you have anything you want to throw in before we bounced out? Oh, can't hear him. Can't hear you, dude. I think, yeah, he's been having a little bit of troubles with his mic. A few things like that going on. So, yeah, all good. But yeah, all good. Well, yeah, awesome. Thank you very much for having us in. Thanks to everyone for coming to check it out. And yeah, definitely jump over into the Discord and come hang out in the voice chat if you're up for a bit of fun.
Yep, I'll drop those links in the general. But thanks everyone for coming, and thanks guys for very informative AMA.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated.
Looking forward to Mint, man. Take care.
Cheers, bud. Bye bye.
Cheers.